Uh, Angus O'Loughlin and Ash London, they do the Shazam Top 20 around Australia. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, thanks for having us.
Hey,
Thank you.
no problems. Look, how many stations do you guys boom out to now?
Depends. I think we're 45-ish for Shazam Top 20, and then take 40s like 52 or 3 or something like that.
Oh, just a couple then.
Yeah,
Couple.
we try not to think about it.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm so new to radio that I'm still getting my head around the fact that anyone listens outside this studio. As far as I'm concerned, it's just me and Angus having fun. And then we always talk about the car test when we get out of our car after the show and we realise people actually listen.
People could be listening.
That's scary.
Yeah. So is this gig your first gig in radio? Completely, Ash, is it? Or
Take 40 was my first gig, and I
yeah.
started on that about a year ago with Angus. And then
Yep.
that's once a week. And then about 6 months in, I've transitioned full time to Shazam Top 20 with Old Mate. So it made it a lot easier working together first. We didn't have to have the awkward, getting
Getting
to
to
know.
know you shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done
Yeah.
a bit of that, but it's gone from like 5% to like we know way too much about each other
Yeah.
at this point.
Surely.
Oh, okay. All right. And what about you, Angus? Where did you kick off?
I started my dad was doing breakfast radio at 4CA in Cairns.
Yeah.
So I went up there as like an 18-year-old and started kind of setting up the OB equipment for his broadcast on the weekend. And then from there, I went and got a job, made a prize patrol cut up demo, and then sent it off to Townsville, which was the hub of Prime Radio at the time, and got a job there. Was there for 18 months as a promotions coordinator. Then went to Brekkie in Tassie. Got fired the day of my probation. And, Sunny Coast for 3.5 years, and Adelaide, Sydney.
Oh, very nice. All right. So the Shazam Top 20, right? Obviously, there's this thing of, a programming sounds and the countdown side of things. People actually Shazamming songs. Legit? It all works?
Absolutely.
100%.
Ask our music director who has a heart attack when he sees the chart half the time.
Yeah.
There is so much new stuff, so many random artists that haven't even been verified on Twitter. Like sometimes we have like Aussie DJs who are making tunes in their bedroom. They've got 400 followers on Twitter.
Yeah. Our favourite one was this guy called Japanese Wallpaper. He's a 16-year-old bedroom DJ, and he got Shazammed and debuted at number 18. And when we tweeted him that his song was going to play, he DM'd us on Twitter, which is a private message, and said, "Hey, can you please send me the audio so I can send it to my mum?"
You're serious? So that's how it goes?
It's so good.
Yeah. So when it comes to finding songs, obviously listeners have a big input on the show. What do you guys do to find new tracks as well? I presume you're involved in that a lot?
Absolutely, yeah. Every day, in the first hour of the show, we have a feature hit. So often that's a track that's leaked or a track that's just dropped, and we'll play it out. And obviously, because the chart is the Shazam chart, we say to people, if you like the track, Shazam it.
Yeah.
And so often we've found that a future hit that otherwise probably wouldn't have gotten commercial radio play gets Shazam straight into the chart.
Yeah, a really good one was Grayson G-Eazy. I still am a massive fan of G-Eazy, the rapper. Went and saw him at Oxford Arts Factory in February.
He's got the T-shirt on.
Yeah, just funnily enough, I do have the T-shirt on.
Not planned.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And so I went and saw him perform like on Valentine's Day to about 100 people at a gig. And then when I heard his song with Grace, we went, oh, this could be a future hit. Our music director's great. And he's like, yeah, I really like the sound of that. We were the first to play it. The next night it made it into the countdown at like number 17. And then it spent, I think, 3 weeks at number 1 before it even got to the number 1 in the Australian charts.
Okay. Well, cool.
Yeah, the same thing happened with Jared James. Do you remember? I debuted on our chart at number 17. We were the only commercial station playing it for a good couple of weeks. Before you know it, number 1, he got a record deal in the States. So it's a really cool way for like local music to find its way onto shows that otherwise probably, wouldn't get it in there, which is a really cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something different. Outside of sourcing new songs, what other sort of preparation goes into preparing your show each day? What's involved?
Angus is a preparation king. This guy is all over it.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time just, thinking about my life, planning holidays. No, there is actually a lot of preparation because there's a lot of interviews. So these happen at any time during the day, not just in the 7 to 10 time slot.
Yep.
So like on a big week, we'll sometimes get, kind of 10 interviews in a week to smash out.
Okay, seriously, that many.
We've got a Hillary Duff interview today, so that'll be going on air tonight. Yesterday was Birds of Tokyo in studio. We legitimately will have pretty much a new artist in studio during the day that plays out that night on air.
Yep.
Or we'll have a big day of 3 interviews, which will play out over the corresponding dates.
Okay, so we think about the people you've interviewed over time. Who's the best one you've ever talked to? Best guest?
My go-to, which was pre-Shazam, is Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Like, just, it's so often you'll meet an artist and they're all right, and then as soon as the cameras start rolling, they turn on the charm and they're awesome, and then the cameras are off and they kind of retreat. But he was just an absolute darling from the second he walked in to when he left, and that's always such a joy. What about you?
I'm a huge fan of hip-hop, so I've loved Pharrell since NERD. I remember buying their album because of Rockstar and Lap Dance, and so I got to interview Pharrell, but he was a bit jet-lagged, so that kind of ruined the whole thing. I wanted him to love me so much.
That's the worst.
And I don't think he'd never know my name. But a really good one was, hip-hop. I was interviewing J. Cole at the time of Eminem's Rapture Tour, and Kendrick Lamar, who is probably in my top 3 all-time favourite rappers, just happened to come with him in his convoy. So Kendrick Lamar did his only Australian interview with us in studio, and it's still like my most favourite photo ever.
And what was the ID he gave you?
Oh, he goes,
my partner?
He goes, yo, what's up? Shouting out my player partner, Angus. And I was like,
I'm done.
I could have retired. If I got fired that day, I would have been like, yes, sweet, no worries.
And what about the worst?
Oh, we have the same
got the same person.
1, 2, 3. Jeremy Renner. Separate interviews as well. We didn't even know each other at the time.
Hate that guy.
I interviewed him for The Loop, which is a TV show I was working on. Angus interviewed him for The Bump, which is a show before Shazam.
Yeah.
The guy...
It was the same junket.
He just didn't want to be anyone's friend. Didn't want to be there.
So he filmed this movie called The Witch Hunter, Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. It was a terrible film. Yeah. He filmed it before he was famous. It was 3 years before he was anybody. Like one of his first gigs. But in his contract, it said that he must do publicity when it goes to cinemas. So 3 years later, he's done The Bourne. He's he's been in some big movies. He's just signed on to the Avengers. And then he had to come to Australia to promote a film that he knew was crap. And he hated every second of it. And we did as well.
Okay. Ash, tell us about Eurovision. How did you swing that?
I don't even know.
Really?
It's because I'm Lebanese. I know people. No, well, I think they needed a broad range of like genders, of age, and of kind of experience. They wanted artists as well as presenters. And I think I just kind of filled the little bit younger thing. Not that Dickie Wilkins is old. That's not what I'm saying. But I mean, that was an absolute honor. I love Eurovision. I didn't love having to be there at 4 a.m. to watch it live from Austria after, being on air till 10 p.m. the night before. But it was great, and Guy Sebastian did us so proud. And, I'm absolutely stoked to have been a part of it. It was very fun. Okay,
once the show wraps up, how do you each unwind? Because I remember when I did nights, and this is years ago, you have this rush, and it takes, or at least it take me like a couple of hours just to switch off. I don't know, what happens with you guys?
We're pretty different.
Yeah, we're very different. I'm the same. It's very hard to go from, and even though you are exhausted by the end of the day because you have worked 8 hours, like we get to work at 2 o'clock at the latest. So you've worked a full day. You've thrown all this energy at the tail end of the day for the last 3 hours, which is unusual because most people give it in the morning. And then you've had blaring music in your head for hours. So I go to bed about 1:30 is when I'll turn out the lights. But Ash is, totally different. Yeah, and I read and meditate, and I'm like snoring by about 11:30 at the latest. I'll have a couple of beers with my dog. Yeah, no, I need to. If I don't sleep, I am no good. Angus will attest to this. Yeah. I just stare off into space. So I need my sleep. So I struggled at first because I wasn't used to working nights. Yeah. And I would find it really hard to switch off my brain. But I found that if I just get straight into bed and read or meditate, which sounds so hippie, but it's a way to quieten my brain. Otherwise, I'm just like, and then turning over. And I can't operate like this guy on 7 hours of sleep. Yeah. Who are some of your influences over your career, your mentors and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. You go first. I had a really great run. I didn't have a lot of support, in the early days, as you don't with regional, and I was a shit kicker. I was doing promotions. I got hired to go to Tasmania to be breakfast by a program director who on the same day accepted a job to go to the Sunshine Coast from Tassie. So I never had a program director in Tassie. My general manager just gave me nothing. He used to tell me, "It's not good, change it." And I'm like, I don't know what that means. But then I was lucky enough to get hired by a guy called Ross Turner on the Sunshine Coast, and he got me and really, helped me find my sound. And then while I was on the Sunshine Coast, Greg Smith was a fantastic mentor, and I used to go around to his house and on Sunshine Beach, and he used to sit me there with his family. He used to listen to air checks, have a wine, and he was instrumental in getting me in front of the right people. But he also believed. I don't know if he heard something in there, but he didn't give up on me, and he was great.
Oh, fantastic. You, Ash?
For me, it's been a bit different because I really started out in television a couple of years ago. I'm still quite new to radio. So back in the day, though, I wrote radio shows. I was never kind of in front of the microphone. So I did a lot of work with Osher Gunsberg when he was in LA. So we kind of had this friendship over email, and this music TV gig came up, and he was the first person I emailed, and I was like, you know what? I'm thinking maybe I could do this. What do you reckon? And he was really instrumental for me in the early years, just with as far as work ethic and attitude, and especially, TV is such a small industry as is radio. Yeah. As far as just the way you treat people and the way you act, and really getting my base. He was great, and he's kind of followed the journey ever since and always checks in on me. And now he's Sydney based, so it's been great to just kind of have him around to check in with. But as far as radio, I mean, the first meeting I had with anyone at SDA was with Craig Bruce downstairs at Grilled. I didn't even know who the guy was or what. I was like, I don't know, maybe I didn't know his role. I didn't know his big deal, whatever. But I was really wary about nights. I knew it would be kind of a big life change, but he was kind of, he really put me at ease, and we really kind of struck it off straight up, and I kind of had a bit more, faith. And then, as lame as it sounds, old mate over here has certainly taught me a crap load about the craft of radio, because I have no idea, and he's been very patient with me. And, it's tough. You're running your own show, and then someone comes in. I don't think a lot of people would really cope very well with that. But Gus has been incredible, and just kind of giving me the space to be myself, but also, when I stuff up or when I get it wrong, very kindly showing me better ways to do things. So thank you. Thank you very much. I'll take that.
Swipe away.
No, it's true. I got really lucky. I've always gotten lucky with co-hosts.
Oh, very nice. Now, obviously, how long have you been doing nights together for now? Angus?
Like 6 months.
A bit over. We're in the 5th month now, probably 7.
Shivers.
It flies, hey?
Yeah, but you've been doing it for what, 2 years?
Yeah, a bit over 2.5.
So do you have ambitions to do something else down the track outside of nights?
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely. I don't think if we're 50 years old and still losing our weeknights to talk about One Direction in 5 seconds of summer, then I've gone wrong.
Yeah. It's also, but definitely ambitions to move on to another show for sure. But I think it's one of those things. I've always had the motto, like I don't really set goals, which surprises a lot of people. Like, I don't set goals as in I want to be on this shift, I want to do this, because you get a bit deluded by the fact that if something else comes up, your brain's so tuned to be this. I've always gone with the flow. So my motto has always been just work so hard in the job you're in and be the best. Like, I want to be the best in every show. I want to be the best breakfast presenter on the Sunshine Coast. I want to be the best nighttime radio host. And so I think if that happens, people hear it, support it, they'll get it, and then you'll get the opportunity that you deserve.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool. All right, we'll wrap this up. Word association game. You each have to answer this, all right?
Okay.
So the first word that comes to mind when I say Miley Cyrus.
Underarm hair.
I'd hit it.
What was yours, Dad? Oh, sorry, I meant, sorry, Angus.
He said I would hit it.
You would hit it. Okay, cool. Guy Dobson.
In sexual ways where he was going
yeah.
Sexually.
Yeah.
Next one, Guy Dobson.
Legend.
Oh, scary.
Yeah. He's so good. He sits right near us. He printed a photo of me shirtless from Instagram, got me to sign it, and it's above his computer.
True.
He is hilarious. Very surprisingly funny.
Yeah.
Cool. Smallsy.
Wanker.
And our publicity girl has just almost had a heart attack.
Stand by it.
We'll say that again. I'll say he is dedicated to his job.
Mine is wanker.
Just to be clear.
Yeah.
You can't not miss the banter or the battles that happen between you two guys in Twitter. I've seen them.
Yeah.
I love it when one starts. This is me when one starts. Feet up.
it's a weird one. It's really hard to understand. Like, yeah, we don't get each other, and I'm so happy for him not to get me.
Cool. Guys, thank you for the chat.
Thank you so much
Thanks,
for having us.